guys? Time to show off a new NH build. This one is a very, very, very cool Kraken dial that my guy lasered out for me in brass. And I took the dial. Let's get this lined up in front of me well. I took the dial, used ager on it, and darkened the whole thing up. I'm going to grab with this nice sapphire glass. It's and the way that I just held that, it fingerprints real easy. So just want to make sure that I don't have any fingerprint on there at all. Yeah. So I blacked everything out so you can really tell with the background. And the Kraken itself is raised because we lasered out all around it and lasered out the accent holes. And then I took that and I brushed it to expose some of the underlying brass, but to also keep some of that distressing on there. So at your edges, you can see you've got a little bit of brass showing. So it comes out looking really, really cool. Backside lumed. We did this in a PAM style case with the 120 click lumed insert bezel, and then did distressing, if I didn't say that. So distressed the insert itself, the coin bezel, the case, crown, and obviously the crown guard and case back. And then I also did that on a Kraken engraved preview buckle. And I grabbed a super soft wristband strap. I thought this went really nice with that tone of brown, or brass, I guess, on the dial. It is a tone of brown, but I thought it went nicely together. And that's the build. Let's grab a light. I'll probably do a picture of the watch itself, not a lume picture. I usually only do this on like full lume dials or something where it's like crazy. But just for a reference on this, into the dark a bit. So did a set of black with like, I don't remember what color lume they call that. It gives you that like dirty lume kind of vintage look. Full set with a pointer seconds hand, all matching lume. It's kind of cool because it, even though they're black, they still kind of fade in decently where they're kind of ghosted, where you're just seeing that dirty lume. Let's see, showing off the bezel on this. It is a 120 single direction. If you mess up, you're going to have to click it back around. A good alignment on that. Obviously, you can look and just make sure that those are, straight. But if you put that in the center of your crown, you're normally going to be good too. So that's closer. That's farther away. And so it's nice to kind of do that. This is an automatic mechanical. This is an NH38 movement. So you've got a 41-hour power reserve on it. If it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit before you put it on. What you're going to do is you're going to take this lever down, and that's going to put it into that first position, which is a wind position. And you're going to wind. Now with these, it's a little more difficult to wind just because you're only able to wind this much at a time, right? So you do this for 5 or 6 seconds before you put it on. That mixed with the rotor movement in the back from you moving around should keep your time throughout the day. But if you know you're not going to be very active, just sit here and wind it a little bit longer. I had a YouTuber comment at one point that said, because I mentioned in it, you can't overwind them. But apparently he didn't hear that part. And stated, have you ever heard of overwinding? Which I guess was his condescending way of trying to sound like I don't know what I'm doing. But These have a mainspring that defers any input after it is fully wound. So you are not impacting anything. Now, if you have an old watch, yeah, you can overwind. You have to just look. You have to look up the movement that you have and make sure that you won't have any impact from overwinding. Otherwise, you're just going to have to wind just a little bit or where you feel like you can. So anyway, I've wound it up plenty of time. I'm just talking. When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click. So you're going to have a little bit of fingernail here because you have to reach in and pull that out to that next position. Now you have a hacking movement, so you'll notice that the seconds hand will stop. At that point, you can set your time. We're somewhere in the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock range. Okay, Google, what time is it?
2:10 p.m.
2:10 p.m. These are one of the worst times to take pictures. And I always end on that, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, do I want to set the time differently? Or just play on my phone for 20 minutes and then see where we're at, which is usually play on my phone for 20 minutes. So when you're good, you're going to push this lever over, and it's going to take it out of that first setting. So if you just push it over and then drop it back, or you can just set it, push it all the way over. That's it. That's the build. It came out pretty phenomenal. You will like it. Now, when my guy did the holes, he did this side. He did this way, and this is a thick leather. So since this is distressed, I hammered this out where it's a little bit more straight, but with this still being thick, it can kind of get caught up in that hole. So whenever you figure out what your hole is, you might add a little bit of, if you go like, hey, every time I wear it at this hole, you may try using like a drill bit that's a little bit larger. Well, it doesn't have to be larger, but just drilling back and forth. If you drill up through, then drill back through, and then push down where it kind of pocked that leather up, and open it up a little bit. It'll just be easier for you to get it on and off your wrist. It works fine, but you might be in a position one day where you're trying to get it off and it's tight on your wrist, and you don't have a lot of pull on it to get this lipped off here, because normally it's not this long, and it has a hitch in it which kind of holds. Well, for you, that hitch was getting caught up in this because it's so thick. So this is straight, but you're going to have that room, to get it off your wrist when you're pulling it. So it'll make sense when you put it on. You'll know what I mean. But that is the build. As with everybody, you're going to get matching beads. This is also going to come in one of my new slider boxes. Slider box with the logo on the side and the logo on the top. This is going to come with watch cleaner or foamer. I think I have 2 of these left, and I've got like 6 builds right now, so the next 2 that get sold get one of these. The other ones may get one of this style. And I've got 4 of those. My guy is working on getting them for me. It's not like... And I ordered them about a month ago. So you're going to get a watch cleaner. This is a foamer. It's good on all glass and metal parts. Everything here in the center. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. As well as a leather conditioner. These I only have 3 of. But he told me yesterday that these were sent out to me. So in theory, I'll have those. So don't use your microfiber with this. Use a rag or something like that to apply this. But that's it. That's the build. If it's going to you, congrats. You got something kick-ass. And I appreciate your support. If you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.